We're here. We're not queer.
We're recording now. So Phill,
Earlier today, though, we're gonna start with that. Unfortunately, Mike, we got to talk about the Giants. Literally giving a game away today. That's how we're starting. But I will say this: as I was hanging out with both of you guys in person, and I had a lot of fun. That was the most fun I've had watching the Giants lose a game probably ever, just because of where we were.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely. So we were at a gay bar.
Well, you got to break the whole story down first. How did we end up there?
Well, I mean, Brian suggested it, and it was great. That's the whole story. I don't have. There's no like
the hot dog place.
Well, yeah, we were at one bar that only had pretzels and hot dogs, which was fine. And then we ended up at a different bar that had the game on. That just happened to be a gay bar down the block. And I loved it. I thought it was fun. It was a good time. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no. It was just this weird sensation where you're watching the Giants lose, and so this bar that we were at was having a drag brunch at the same time as the game was playing. So there was like this like loud gay techno music coming from like 40 feet away while the football game was on the TV over here. And then, the Giants lose, and then a bunch of dudes in like dresses and wigs and thongs just walk through the bar. Like it was the strangest duality of worlds, but it was fucking awesome.
It was the best duality of worlds.
It was a great time. I had a great time. It's impossible to be angry and upset in that particular environment where literally everyone is just partying at 3 in the afternoon on a Sunday and enjoying themselves. I had a good time.
The vibes were amazing.
The food was good.
Yeah, the vibes were amazing.
The food was really good.
Shout out to Branded Saloon. It's a good place.
What was the name?
I'm thrilled that the Jets. I'm thrilled that the Jets won, even though it was such a shit show today.
You called it.
I did call it.
Yeah.
I did call it. We saw it with our friend Chris. Shout out to our buddy Chris.
Chris Boo.
No, I did call it. I called it was going to be a shit show too. I called like it was going to be a low-scoring game because we won, but just like when my buddy who's a Patriots fan, like when they beat us this season, he was like, it was a win, but it didn't feel like a win. Like I mean,
how you feel today,
I gotta say, I was pretty hyped. I was pretty hyped at like I was pretty hyped at the fact that we were able to get the field goal and we were able to. Just I mean, basically continue to like extend the game into overtime. Like it was great, but like at the same time, it was so many injuries, constant injuries. It was such a slow game too, as well, with like not a lot happening. And but the big highlight is of course fucking DeVito. DeVito being the fucking man for you guys. That fucking gabagool.
Jersey Italian at QB finally.
He's such a gabagool. He is such a fucking gabagool.
How much you want to bet he's attended games as a fan before and gotten in fights in the stands, and now he's playing for the team.
He also just like I saw like a TikTok of him with like just like a white beater and chains and like. Just like a headband too. Basically
every jersey,
for every dude on Grindr that tries to act like a top, like that.
Channeling his inner Pauly.
I was like, okay, I've seen that before.
Yeah, he's got the vibe that his uncle knew somebody who was close to the Maras, and they're like, just give my nephew a shot, and they got on the team that way. Yeah,
exactly. Like somebody got threatened at in the back of an Italian restaurant. That's how he got that starting today.
He gets paid in Manila envelopes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and his uncle's in waste management at the Meadowlands too as well.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
His uncle knows where what's his name is buried under the stadium. Yeah.
As far as the game goes, I feel like Brian, and congrats on the win, because like the Giants suck, and we talked about how much they sucked a few weeks ago. I don't need to go into that again, but I feel like it wasn't so much that the Jets won the game as much as the Giants lost the game. Like that's kind of my feelings towards it. 2 missed field goals and a critical PI. I mean, it's just. I mean, they had opportunities to win, and they gave them all away. So
Graham Gano.
Yeah, and it was just like I mean, like my biggest criticism, I think Zach Wilson like was doing well, like he was scrambling and shit, but like our offensive line was absolutely dog shit. Like honestly, it wasn't him. It wasn't. He got sacked like. I mean, I want to say he got sacked like 4 times. I mean, he fumbled in the first quarter after a sack, and I was like, well, I mean, being a pessimistic Jets fan, I was like, oh, that's the game.
Yeah.
But
Well,
like, I mean, yeah, it was our O line was complete dog shit, and yeah,
Welcome to our world, buddy.
yeah. So, but like, no, being in a gay bar was great, especially because we were supposed to for Phil's girlfriend.
Right. That's what I was alluding to. The whole fiasco, trying to plan. No, just trying to plan the whole weekend.
Because of Phil's girlfriend and his dog, we had to adjust her plans, and then she was sick and couldn't come, which is pretty gay.
That was the bar that you picked anyway.
Yeah, we went back to the
pretty gay of her.
Yeah. She's pretty. I'll tell her you said
not the good kind of gay either. No, like the kind of gay like you called someone in middle school who like.
Yeah, no, believe me, that'd be great. But so, Mike, you texted me after the game when I was on my way home, and you said that this game, there's a statistic behind this game that this game had a certain record.
Yeah,
this should give everybody an idea of how terrible this game was.
Okay, so I sent it to you on Instagram, so I'm just gonna open it up here. And it is.
I know what it was. I just want to hear you say it.
I want to see the number. There's the Bill Nye thing I sent you. That was cool. We were talking about Bill Nye, and then I found a Bill Nye thing. Anyway,
love me some Bill Nye.
So Barstool New York NYC put up this thing, and I'll show it in a second. It's 24. The 24 combined punts in the Jets-Giants game today were the most in a game since 2003. So the good folks over at Barstool New York.
We just watched the worst football game in 20 years, fellas. Yeah. That's what that means. Like, it was that fucking terrible. It was so bad.
I mean, that's the thing. It was like, I'm glad we won, and I was excited at the end of it, but like, it just didn't feel great.
The Jets are still in it. The Giants are dead in the water, and now everybody's like, let's trade Saquon and get the picks. And I don't want to lose him, but it's we need something. Yeah, we need something.
And not just him. Anybody who's of anything of value that other teams might want for their push.
Mm-hmm.
See if there's any teams that are desperate and willing to give you like a pick higher than you would have normally get, or even some other developmental pieces. Just something. Right. And again, by the way, I like Saquon for the record. I like him a lot.
No, me too. I don't want to lose him.
If you can fucking fleece some team, you got to do it now. You got to. Because this team's going nowhere. I mean, best case scenario, the Giants go on a run, they make the lowest seed wild card, and they get blown out in the first fucking game of the playoffs. That's not what we live for in New York. We live for rings. So you know what? Fucking burn it to the ground. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get ready for the next year.
Trade him to a winning team. Let him experience a victory. How much longer is his career going to be? The shelf life isn't long for running backs anymore, which is stupid because the league is weird about that. But
NFL players in general, the shelf life's only about 3 years. So he's already lived like 2 of them. I'd love to see it for him.
And like running backs take like so much damage too as well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I mean Saquon is great for you guys, but if you did trade him and tried to like rebuild, that will be good. I mean, the question is now who's going to be your quarterback. I don't know what's good with Tyrod. I don't know what's.
He's in the hospital. He's staying overnight. I heard on the radio for observation.
At least he gets an extra serving of Jello.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Tommy DeVito, that's your guy now.
And that's the thing. That is the sign right now that some mob boss's fucking nephew is starting for the Giants now. That's it. It's time to just blow it up for the year and just give up hope. I feel like this day in general, because it was so gloomy and cloudy out, it's a perfect metaphor for what the Giants have been through this year, But I think pretty much, I mean, congrats on the win to Brian and all the Jets fans. You guys won an extremely ugly game, but hey, a dub's a dub. We got to move on because this just hurts to talk about, man.
20 is a 20.
Let's move on from let's talk about some more gay stuff, actually. So last week we mentioned that the NHL had banned the rainbow tape on the sticks. And it turns out that like literally 10 hours after we recorded that and before we even got to release it, they reversed course and they unbanned it. So Brian, guess what? The NHL can be gay every night if they want to now.
Great. I mean, like, again, like, I kind of just, a part of me still just doesn't care. Like, I mean, like, I'm glad. No, I would obviously,
Yeah.
I'm obviously against them banning, rainbow
Right.
tape. Like, they should not do that at all. They shouldn't ban pride tape. Like, don't do that. Like, I'm obviously against that and would say fuck the NHL for doing that.
Right.
I mean, it was just, but like at the same time, now that they can do it, great. I don't care. like
Yeah.
let people.
And he had this. He said, "quote It had to be done. I was gonna deal with whatever came my way." Unquote. That right there is a
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
alpha dog. That is
Yeah.
a badass quote from a dude who's like, "Yeah, I suck dick sometimes. And I'm gonna fucking tell everybody I'm a hockey stick. You got a fucking problem with that?" Like, I love
Yeah.
that attitude of like, here I am. I'm here and I'm queer. Fucking deal with it. Like,
Yeah.
I salute that motherfucker, Travis
Yeah.
Dermott.
I agree.
I've-
100%.
Hopefully I said that name right.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'll shoot my shot with Travis too, as well.
There you go.
Hope
I was
you
waiting.
do. We gotta figure out when he's playing against the Rangers or the Devils and go. And Brian, we can get good tickets. We'll have Brian sit like right up front with like a sign
Right.
that says like, "Please let me and my boyfriend run a train on you" or something.
Yeah.
Just something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Just
Man.
put your nipple up against the glass like cable guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or that, yeah,
Or that.
that's one way you could go about it.
Oh, Billy. Cable guy.
Also with the NHL, speaking of fabulousness, Mike, you wanted to mention something about the Rangers, yeah?
Yeah, so we've talked about jersey leaks, and I follow this guy, Chris Creamer. He's got a website, sportslogo.net, and there's him, and then there's the Uniwatch. I don't know his name, but it's Uniwatch on Twitter.
Mhm.
So they're on top of this stuff. So anyway, I want to show you this jersey. There was a leak, and you never know if these things are really leaked or not. But
Yeah, it's a weather balloon from the team, like 80% of the time. Yeah.
So they leaked their third or alternate jersey this year, and I'm going to put it on the screen now. So there it is.
All right.
It's not bad. It's
it's like a black kind of. Was it supposed to be like a dark navy?
I think that it's a dark navy blue. It's got kind of like some sweater stripes. Because hockey uniforms used to be sweaters, so it's got like the sweater looking stripes. There was a time, I think, in the 70s when the Rangers had their whole logo in the middle, but it was more of like this colored blue, and then the rest was white, and it looked kind of silly. And then they went back to their classic Rangers jerseys. So this is the leak one. This is the Breadman Panarin. And this could be yours for $300 probably.
Yeah, right. I gotta say, I like it. It's it's inoffensive.
I was about to say, and I'm a Devils fan, so like I hate complimenting the Rangers at all. Like, but like, I mean, this actually doesn't look bad. Like, this looks like something that like. I mean, like, if I was a Rangers fan, I would definitely wear. I would definitely rock this shit, But like,
I mean,
at the same time,
the Rangers had experimented with navy blue when they had the Statue of Liberty jerseys, and those went away. And then last year they brought them back with a lighter shade of blue, and I thought like, well, why don't you just bring back the navy blue? So I guess they like this navy blue look. It's like the Giants. I missed the New York Giants with the navy blue and light blue. It's just a good matchup. the color.
I like
so,
this because
yeah.
I mean we did the NBA episode a few weeks
Mhm.
ago where we looked at those like mostly atrocious NBA city uniforms.
Right.
And a lot of those, they used color schemes that weren't even the team's regular color scheme and weird font. Like they were trying to reinvent the wheel, whereas this doesn't. This is basically just like if you told me that had been an alt jersey for the last 15 years,
Yeah.
I would have believed you. You know, because this
Yeah.
just it's very. They didn't stray too far from the norm, but they made
Mhm.
just enough changes to where it's pretty cool. I actually really like these. These are cool.
It's pretty simplistic. They didn't go too crazy with it. So
Yeah.
I guess, it's cool. Now, my dream, not so much for the Rangers, but for the Knicks, who share the garden with the Rangers, if they're going to do a City Connection jersey, I'm waiting for them to let Walt Frazier design it. Because Walt Frazier wears all the crazy suits and stuff. So we got to get like a Clyde style Knicks jersey, and it's going to be outrageous and ridiculous, but it's going to be Clyde. So that's the only time I'm accepting of something over the top.
The
Because
only I
Yeah.
wish I could wear a Knicks shirt
yeah,
and like I'm not a Knicks fan, but the only Knicks shirt I would ever want to wear is like fucking a Knicks shirt of Charles Oakley choking out James Dolan. That would be like
we could make that. And sell it
that
on.
that would actually
we
that would
can- we
actually
can-
be like the most awesome fucking shirt
think-
I would wear.
Dude,
So-
if we
Yeah.
could either have we could commission that, or we could just have AI art do that and print that for you. If you
And
wear that
make
to
it
a Knicks
on
game with us,
Photoshop.
we have to
The
do
problem-
that. We have
the
to get
problem
that
is-
done now.
The problem
do
is
it on
if we wore
Photoshop.
that, we cannot wear that at Madison Square Garden because like they
Bullshit. Yes,
literally-
you could. Absolutely.
No,
People would
you
fucking
absolutely
love that.
cannot.
You get banned.
No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't because even though the fans would love it, fucking James Dolan has fucking face surveillance right now. That
Yeah.
like if you get banned from that, if he doesn't like you for whatever
If
reason
you-
and he sees you, he will ban
Yeah.
you from like not only will he ban you from Knicks games, he will ban you from all events at Madison Square Garden.
Brian,
He's
how
a-
legendary would it be if you wore that to MSG? You had like a jacket over it when you got there, and then you were walking around with that, and you got banned from MSG. How cool of a story! You'd be the biggest badass. Like, dude, you have to do that. We have to
I
make this
mean-
happen now.
I mean,
I don't think he
like,
wants
yeah,
to.
I just I enjoy going
wants to be
to
Spike Lee at
concerts
some
too,
point.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, like it would have to be. It would have to be like caught in a viral moment because if I just pissed off,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
even know how I'd come in contact. with
Mike,
the
take down
owner.
the yeah. Brian, I'm with you. Let me raise the stakes. What if we printed off like 100 copies of that shirt, and then we sat outside on a table right outside the game after a game they lost, and we sold them to people?
We
That would
actually
be-
could probably make some money off of that.
Yeah.
Dude,
that
yeah,
could
no,
work.
that'd be really fucking funny.
We
Well-
actually could probably make some money off of that.
If I could make it right now, so to all our listeners, Kathy Rabideau and a couple other people,
Yeah, my friend Mike from work and like 6 people. Yeah.
we're selling a Nosebleeders t-shirt right now. A black
Oh, yes, we
t-shirt.
are,
Yes.
finally.
And actually,
yeah.
you can get the logo printed on a bunch of things. You can get it on pickleball paddles for $66.
Why did you pick that? Of all the inanimate objects,
Because
to
it's
pick-
amazing. It's pickleball. It's the future, man. So
I-
they're opening a pickleball center by the garden. So we're gonna have to go and do some coverage at some point.
That I would definitely.
I
be down
am
to do
so
some coverage.
By the way, how on brand is it, Brian, that Mike knows that?
Yeah, I walk past it all the time. So
Yeah, no. It's,
no, but I'm
It is.
saying I could make if I could make the shirt and put it on the store, we could sell it through our online store.
I
Um,
would honestly, dude.
yeah.
We really should do that. And Brian, that's a fucking gold idea because people would,
Now I gotta look it
people
up.
would wear that shit.
No, I gotta
All right. So we're already talking about NBA. Let's move on to the NBA.
Yeah.
Knicks are currently 1-2. They're a disappointment as always. Should we
Mhm.
just give up on the season already, Mike? What do you think?
Oh, it's over. Yeah.
No,
Just- Like, I
No.
honestly,
No.
dude, that opening fucking loss to the Celtics was just
That was
so
disappointing.
brutal that it was just it felt like that. Like I felt about that game the way that you feel about most Jets games, Brian, where I was just watching it on my phone, just like womp womp.
but
was it-
it's like Okay, but like, far be it for me, because I'm a Nets fan. Far be it for me to defend
Yeah.
the Knicks, but like, it's still super early in the season, and like the Celtics are like the best. I mean, like, Celtics are the best team in league. The Celtics are probably going to go to finals this year. Like, I mean, so no, I actually will give you guys a little bit of hope. Like, I mean,
All
I'm
right,
looking at the
pour it
stats
on,
right
baby.
now.
Give me some
The
hopium.
Nets. I mean, the Nets are 0-2, which they're the worst fucking team in the league right now. The
Right.
Knicks are 1-2. But again, it's fucking 3 games.
Yeah,
It's
no,
the
this
3
I
games out
agree,
of
Brian.
what,
The
like
sample
80,
size
90
very
games these
small.
motherfuckers play.
No,
You know, so
yes, I will definitely. Yeah, the sample size is small. I was being mostly facetious, but it just feels like we're going down that path again as Knicks fans. Like, oh, here we fucking go again. It just that's what it felt like. It's what it feels like. It hurts, man. And so, thank you for the hopium. I appreciate that.
The
But
hopium.
the hopium, we just had some
the
hopium from
hopium.
Brian.
Hopium.
But the thing is, man, is it like, and I mentioned this on one of our first episodes. I think it was our first episode where I said, where do we go as New York fans? The Yankees suck. The Mets suck. The Giants suck. The Jets are okay. That I think they've got a shot at the playoffs. And I mean, if the Knicks and the Nets also suck, I mean, I'm telling you, we're gonna be there at the Liberty fucking opening day next spring in fucking face paint, just because we're gonna be so desperate for dubs around here, man.
So I tell you what, I forgot about this. I'm excited about this. St. John's hired what's his name as their head coach. Who's back? Fucking
Bill
of course
Laimbeer?
I'm no, that would have
Say
been
it. Say
great.
it's Bill Laimbeer. No, God damn it. Okay.
What's his name? He used to be the Knicks coach and the Wildcats coach and the Louisville coach. What's his name? I can't believe I'm blanking out. Hold on. I'm so
Google that
stupid.
shit while Brian and I ramble about the I don't know
Fucking
about the.
Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino is
Oh
coaching St. John's.
yeah, he wasn't he the coach of like somewhere in like the Celtics or something years ago. I don't even
He
remember.
he did the Celtics. He left Kentucky
Yeah.
to coach the Celtics. He coached the Knicks years ago, and it didn't go well. But he's a New Yorker. He was at Iona, I think, last, and then
So
he
he's at.
got
So you want to go to a St. John's game now? Is that
hell yeah, yeah. So it might
how
be
far do
competitive.
we have to reach down to get a relevant team in this city? It's so sad. The capital of Earth can't get like a
New York City
championship
Football Club.
contender. It's
Yeah.
it's pathetic.
Oh, we'll go to the pickleball place when they open pickleball. We'll root for the New York Rat Pickleballers, whatever they're going to be called.
All right.
The
So,
Pigeon Poopers.
keeping with the NBA theme, this is also some other news that I wanted to talk about real quick. Is that so the NBA announced that they want to expand by 2 teams. They want to add 2 teams. The current leading cities are Seattle, which is obvious because in a lot of people's opinions, including my own, they never should have lost their team to begin with.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're getting the Sonics back, which is pretty sick.
Yeah.
But then the other one I thought was pretty interesting, which is that Las Vegas is considered to be the other current frontrunner for NBA expansion.
Yeah.
I mean,
so-
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
Why,
is what-
Brian? Why do you think it makes
Go ahead,
sense?
go ahead, Brian. Go ahead,
Sorry.
Brian.
I mean, Las Vegas is a major tourist attraction
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like a city out west. I mean, it's like, obviously all the California cities, Seattle, like you mentioned, in Washington. I mean, there's Portland and Oregon, and they already have the Blazers, and it's just, I mean, if you're gonna add, 2 more teams, it seems like Las Vegas would make sense. It's like the betting capital of the world,
Yeah.
It's
So,
just like,
my
and they
question
and they,
is
are,
this,
and they
though.
already have the Raiders too. So like,
And
Yeah,
and
well,
the
they might
Yeah.
be getting the Oakland A's. It looks like they're getting the Oakland A's to move
A's,
there.
they have
yeah,
the
Las
Knights.
Vegas is making
Yeah.
moves, man. Like, I
So
think that
my question is this though for the league is now if they're adding 2 teams in the West, does that mean they bump one of the teams from the current West to the East to keep the conferences even? Like, do they move?
They could.
I don't even know, like Indiana. I don't even know. I mean, I think they're East, but no. Like, do they move somebody over? Because otherwise, it'd be like the baseball was for fucking years, where you have like
Yeah.
where they had 16 and 14 for a while.
I'm
I'm
trying to look it up.
I'm not entirely sure of. I don't know
No.
what they're going to do. And that's for Adam Silver to fucking figure out. That egghead looking motherfucker.
the Pelicans are in the West, so they could go to the East
Oh
very
yeah,
easily.
you're right. That would be the obvious one. You move them over to the East because they're easternmost. Probably.
There's like Houston and San Antonio, like a lot of central teams. But in the East, you also have, I'm looking at it now, you have like the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, they're north central. Now the Pacers are east, yeah. So I don't know. Are they doing two, or they only want to
It
do
would have
one?
to be. I think you nailed it, Mike. I think the obvious choice would be you move the Pelicans over to the East, and then which would give them a better shot because the East traditionally isn't as good as the West. That'd be interesting. So I just wanted to talk about that. Also, what do you guys think they should call the Vegas team?
The knuckle cracker, the kneecap breaker.
The Vegas kneecaps. Yeah, I was about to say the Vegas kneecaps. That would actually be an amazing team name.
No, why? Wait. Tell me the etymology behind that. I don't understand.
The knee breakers. It's a mob thing.
Because if
is that a mob town? I've never been to
Vegas.
Yeah,
and it's a big mob town.
They invented it.
Yeah. A bit like the movie.
Did you ever see Bugsy?
She gets beat to death in a fucking cornfield. It's like Scorsese's best film besides A, Killers of the Flower Moon, which just came out, and B, Goodfellas. Like if you lose in Vegas and you don't have the money to cover your losses, you get your fucking kneecaps broken in.
Yeah.
So
there was a time. There was a time.
There used to also be, I think in Baltimore. It was either Baltimore or Washington. There used to be a team called the Baltimore Bullets or the Washington.
No, I think it was Washington Bullets.
It was Washington.
They were Baltimore, and then they became Washington.
And then
Bullets,
they changed it because they were the murder capital of the country, and they're like, that's not a good look.
So we might. I'm very much. I mean, listen, with all the mass shootings, you're obviously never gonna have that team name back. But I say bring back, not only bring back the Baltimore Bullets, but let's call the Las Vegas the Las Vegas Bookies. The Las Vegas Bookies would be an amazing team name.
That would
be okay.
I would become an instant fan of that basketball team if they called themselves the Bookies, and their mascot was just basically a Joe Pesci looking character. Like that's just
a guy. He just goes around the arena with a baseball bat and threatens people.
I'm over here now. Yeah.
That would be. I mean, let's be honest. That would be amazing.
They're going to be the Las Vegas Newtons for Wayne Newton or something.
Because I was going to go.
It doesn't have to be any particular ethnicity either. So it's not going to get anybody upset.
No, it has to be. It has to be an Italian. It has to be
the Sinatras.
Yeah, but then you're going to
the Rat Packers.
Yeah. But
the Vegas Rat Packers.
It doesn't have to be any particular ethnicity. Just be Los Angeles, not Los Angeles.
Well, listen, we are inclusive here. We have multiple mascots. We have a black bookie. We have an Italian bookie. We have a gay bookie. Yeah. We're woke, but we also beat you. That's
yeah. Exactly.
That'd be very funny.
Exactly. It's like the different ethnicities of sausage in Washington.
A diverse lineup of bookies. A very diverse.
Men, women, trans, whatever. We got everybody.
Yeah.
I was gonna go for the hack joke on that one. I was gonna be like, make it like the Las Vegas escorts or the Las Vegas hookers or something. But no, you guys definitely took that to a different angle. I like that. The Las Vegas kneecappers.
Well, I want to comment on the whole Las Vegas thing. So this is what scares me about a move to Las Vegas is that James Dolan built this thing, the Sphere. That giant thing that has an LED screen on inside and the outside.
Yeah.
So while you're driving, there's like a giant eyeball looking at you, which is fucking weird.
Yeah.
But it's the MSG Sphere. So my fear is that he's gonna just be spiteful to New York and just move the Knicks to Las Vegas and say
that would never happen.
He's like, don't sell T-shirts outside my arena, you assholes. I'm moving the team to Vegas. No, I don't think it would happen too.
No, and here's the thing. Even if by the way, if he did and he left, the NBA overnight would just add a brand new team there and it would have a new owner. So actually, you know what? Fuck it. Why don't we just root for that? Why don't we just root for that?
Well, you can take the team out of New York. You can't take the Knicks out of New York. But you know what? They can knock down the Garden for all I care and put back Penn Station because that's the fourth iteration of the Garden. So who cares anyway? If we got a new team, we'll just put them anywhere. They'll play in Radio City like the Liberty did once. So You know,
Shit Barkley's at the Nets at this point. Who gives a shit? All right, so that's all I wanted to talk about with the expansion. I thought that was just an interesting thing to mention. Do we have any last topics, or do we want to get to a brawl to take us home? What do you got, Mike?
I got a question. Who do we think is going to be in the Super Bowl like this year so far? If we had to make predictions, I mean, I definitely think the 49ers.
It looks like the 49ers.
49ers
really...
and the Eagles, maybe.
Wait,
well, they're in the same league, so they can't.
They're both NFC.
They could get to the championship game, but
it's.
I don't know.
I gotta be honest with you. I think it's gonna be
Eagles, maybe. I'm definitely thinking it's the 49ers.
I'm gonna make a bold claim. Actually, I think it's just gonna be a rematch of last year. I really think that.
The Dolphins are 6-2, but they always choke. The Eagles are 7-1. Cowboys are 5-2. Seahawks are 5-2. Lions are your sleeper this year. You don't wake a sleeping lion, right?
They haven't proven it though. They haven't been there yet. No, I really think it's going to be. I mean, it'd be cool to have random teams, but I for some reason I just feel it with the rematch. I really do. I think it would be.
They're not going to let Taylor Swift not be at the Super Bowl, so they're going to help the Chiefs get there.
Yeah, dude.
If she's not doing a halftime show,
by the way, did you see
Did
you see the girl that went viral with like the conspiracy theory that Taylor Swift's only dating that guy so she can break up with him at the Super Bowl and fuck with his head so the Eagles can win or something? Do you see that viral clip? My girlfriend who's a Swiftie showed it to me. I'll get her to send it to me. I'll send it to you guys. It's like this girl who goes in this long rant about how like she's only dating him because of, and again, like that's the punchline to it, but like she does this whole conspiracy thing that's like 3 full minutes long leading up to it. It's really fucking funny. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about the Super Bowl. All right.
I think it's gonna be the Chiefs and whoever. Yeah.
Chiefs and whoever. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, and that's why I feel like it's gonna be a rematch. I don't know. I mean, Brian, what do you think? Do you disagree with us, or do you think like?
I think it could. I think it could be a rematch,
or?
and I forgot that like the 49ers and the Eagles were in both in the NFC.
They'll probably be the conference finals again.
But like, what was I gonna say? I think it could. I mean, I'm looking right now. I think it could. I think it would be kind of crazy for the Dolphins because the Dolphins have always been pretty terrible too. So like, I mean, like. It's kind of fun to watch that the Patriots are so bad this year. Like that's also just like because like it used to just be like the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins used to fight for last place, and then the Patriots. It was just like the Patriots just dominating the entire league.
Well, he might get fired, and
Patriots are going to go through another dark 1990s period. I don't see them even making the playoffs till like 2030. Like I really think they're about to go into the old school Boston our team sucks slump for a very long time, and it's going to be great. They deserve it. Couldn't happen to a fucking better group of dipshits up there in New England.
Before we get to the fight, not to change the subject, but I want to throw in the Reggie Jackson quote of him talking about the Yankees.
Oh yes, we haven't talked baseball in a while.
We haven't talked the World Series.
Let's talk baseball. Do that for a minute or two. Yeah.
So quickly, I'll say that I had the Texas Rangers finishing third, and I tweeted that. And about a week ago, some Ranger fan found it and said, "What place was your Yankees in?" I don't care. I'd rather be the last place Yankees in the first place Texas Rangers.
Well, first of all, they did finish as a wild card, so the fact that they don't really even because they choked in the last week of the year. But one thing that I think is really funny is because, by the way, the Astros lost, and chef's kiss to the Rangers. They are forever on my list of good teams now. But I think it's funny because on the internet, everyone was just been talking mad shit about the Astros, and all the Astros fans like, "Oh, you're a Yankee fan. What do you got to say? Come on, you got to sit this one out." It's like, bro, no, I don't got to sit shit out. All right, like I've known my team sucks since May. We're the Yankees, and in a year or two, when half the players from their team have to all leave, they're going to go back to fourth place and last place obscurity, and the Yankees will be kicking everyone's ass like they pretty much always do, except for this year, 2008 and like 1994 or something. It's they can. Everyone from Texas can suck it. but
Yeah,
especially
listen,
people from Houston.
the Yankees are bad right now. Yankees
Yeah.
fans know that before everybody. Yankees fans will we're in New York. We're gonna rip our own teams. We're gonna be harder on our team than any non-Yankee fan.
Yeah.
But we're the Yankees. We're in New York. People have to run to catch up how fast we walk. Put it that way. So it's I don't care. Good for the Texas Rangers, and the Diamondbacks. It's actually so far playing out to be a really good World Series.
It's
Two teams nobody wanted
all
to
the
see.
haters, all the
Yeah.
bitter Phillies fans and Astros fans who are like,
Yeah.
no one's gonna watch, and it's gonna be a sucky series.
It's been really good so far.
So far, it's been this 1-1 series with had a
Adolis.
walk-off extra inning. It's been a good series so far. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's two teams that no one's seen in a while. I was like 13 or 14 when the Diamondbacks were last in, and the Rangers have never won one. So it's really, really, I think it's cool. I actually really like the matchup, and everyone who doesn't can go suck a dick because they don't know anything about baseball.
Adolis Garcia, Adolis Garcia has been unbelievable. But I wanted to make the point about Reggie Jackson. So they had him on the Fox broadcast. So he's there with Jeter. He's with A-Rod. He's with what's his name, Big Papi, and then I guess Kevin Burkhardt. I didn't see the full clip. But they were asking Reggie Jackson, what is it like now working for the Rangers organization? Because in 2021, he left the Yankees as a special advisor and went to Houston. So he pretty much ripped the
Houston
Yankees.
Or Texas?
He went to the Houston Astros, Reggie Jackson. So he's a special advisor to the Houston Astros. Okay. So he said and I'm summarizing here pretty much that like the Yankees organization don't look to the former players for their opinion or input on the team. And Reggie Jackson, who's a special advisor, I mean, that's his whole job is to give input. He felt that they weren't using his input. And, it's just very telling when Mr. October is calling out his own. He's wearing the Yankee. He's not wearing the A's cap in the Hall of Fame. He's wearing a Yankee cap in the Hall of Fame. He's like, guys, what are you doing? Your franchise is the greatest players in history. You show it off as a marketing stunt all the time. You're not listening to any of us. Like, what are you doing? The team's a disaster. So, I feel like my little conspiracy theory is the Yankees are in some kind of financial trouble because now they got the patch on the arm. They're not spending money. Like, what is going on?
That's league-wide, though. That's league-wide. Every team has a stupid, like the Astros have that stupid Oxy thing. And by the way, as lame as an insurance company is, which is the Yankees sponsor, at least the logo blends in with the uniform for the most part. Because some of these they're just intrusive as fuck on the uniform. I mean, crazy.
Baseball has also been hurting with just attendance in general. I mean, like it's been so bad that like I read
that's actually not entirely true, but keep going.
Well, no, I read it like a really because maybe that's increased, but like in like the last 5 years it has gone down, and I read like I read a fucking opinion piece, which was the dumbest opinion piece possible. But it basically was saying because of baseball's low attendance score, the only way to preserve baseball is if it's completely like nationalized and taken over by the federal government. Which I mean,
who wrote this? I'm gonna personally find this person and rip on them tonight. Who wrote this?
I actually think I could find it and send it to you because I was just like, the uproar in this country. First of all, I just don't think that's a good idea. But second of all, the uproar in this country, if they're like, fucking Bernie trying to take over baseball, like
it's socialism or whatever.
Like if you told your uncle that Joe Biden is trying to take over the fucking Yankees, like there would be like January 6th every Friday. Like, come on.
Baseball already has like a socialism kind of like with the venue sharing, so they're already like a socialist.
And it's also, it's also like America's pastime too. So like it was just, but like baseball games are always also very cheap to go to, which I don't know why more people wouldn't go to them because like you can go like to just like you can get like a $30 ticket in like Citi Field and like just have a great time. You know, like you
Yeah.
don't need to spend like a lot of money. Whereas like you'll
Yeah, they're more
spend
fan friendly now. Yeah.
you'll spend
More
a
amenities.
Oh
salary.
man, I'm gonna push back on all this. I
There's
mean,
more
it's not the ticket
amenities.
price; it's the fact that the shit in the stadium is crazy expensive. They basically went to
And I'm
like
not
the
saying the
movie
ticket
theater
prices,
model in some of the teams.
but
It's crazy.
I'm not saying the ticket prices are too high. I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying like so I've read that attendance has just gone down in general. Maybe that changed like this
Now
season. Maybe that changed
it
after COVID.
depends. No, it depends on the specific market for that. And here's the thing: the weekend attendance specifically has actually gone
Mhm.
up slowly over the last several bunch of years.
Mm.
The problem is it's the weeknight attendance because they start the games too fucking late. They start them at like 7:30 at night. They should
Yeah.
start them at like 5:30 and just let everyone just get home and fucking time for bed. But they
Watch it
decide to have
during
them at
dinner.
7, which is stupid. Exactly.
Hmm.
Anyway, we don't need
Interesting.
to talk.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do a whole segment on this at some point. I love this conversation. We should
You could,
research this out before we talk about
gotta
it
make a
more.
map about it. Make a map.
I could.
Make a
I'm.
map.
I
Map
do
comedy.
cartography in my free time / academic time. All right. So Mike, you have a brawl to take us home with?
I do have a brawl. So this brawl is from I don't know, but it's between I
Well
did all this
researched,
yesterday.
Mike. This is
Yeah. Yeah, that's my specialty. So it's between the Cowboys and the Chargers it's just I think from
Oh,
like
it's a
a couple
football
years ago.
brawl.
It's a football brawl and it
Okay.
happened pre-game. I do know that. It happened I just don't know the year. But it's
Okay.
pre-game and we're going to go to it now, bring it up here and you'll
Was
see
Michael Irvin on it? Is Michael Irvin and
no.
Troy Aikman on the team? Because then we would know. Okay.
So it's throwback jersey day and you see these guys going at it. Now it looks like a scuffle, but if you look a guy got punched in the helmet and his helmet got knocked off his head.
Okay.
It got knocked
See,
off his head.
I
Look
already like this more than most football brawls because
Yeah. It's good.
oh
Yeah.
so that guy
Jesus
on the
Christ.
Chargers steps in and his
Yeah.
helmet got knocked off his head.
Yeah.
You know how
Can you
hard you have to
rewind that
hit
back a little bit,
somebody?
Mike?
Yeah.
Can you
So
rewind it just a
if
little bit?
we're gonna go right about here, so you'll look to more the right center of the screen. I don't have a slow-mo of this, but if you play it right there, the guy gets his helmet punched off. We'll play it again. Boom.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the helmet kind of bounced around on everybody, like it was crowd surfing. That's not easy to do. He uppercuts him
Yeah.
and knocks his helmet off his head. And luckily it wasn't like Django Fett where his head is still in his helmet.
I can't. It's funny. Like he disappears too. Like I can't see him. Like where like he would come out anyway.
He was okay because there's another version of this, but it's the actual broadcast and it's got logos. I didn't want to use that. He was okay, but this is pregame. This is before a game even starts, and I don't know what the score of this game was, but it better been
this
high.
might have actually been this year. Was it this year?
I don't know. We found it through social media, so it could have been recent. There was just no date on it.
And that's the thing. For those of you, by the way, who don't really know our show, we've watched like hundreds of brawls. We don't even know like what's when anymore. It's not that we don't care. It's just that we've done so goddamn many of these at this point that like we just, we forget what's what often. It's true.
And we all have jobs, and I can't remember half this stuff half the time. We're not WFAN where like we have a whole research team.
Yeah,
pulling the
we
info.
don't have a research team. We don't have assistants. We're literally just dudes who smoke.
It's like
and
Mike,
drink
go
and
find a
watch sports
video.
and
I was like,
everything.
yeah.
No, exactly.
Go ahead.
entertained. I'm entertained by this though. The thing that I like about this fight in particular is that, and I've talked about this many times on the show, is that usually a football brawl just looks like the play kept going because it's during a game. This is actually like punches thrown. You can clearly tell these people are pissed. I enjoy the shit of this. I like this. I don't know what number I'm gonna give it, but I enjoyed this. This was fun. Are we playing it again, or what are we doing here?
No, I thought we were going to give a rating. I'm actually trying to look at the guys who are in the fight.
I can give it a rating. I'm going to give it a 6.5. I'm going to give it a 6.5 because like it was scrappy and like they, it was violent, but it broke up pretty quick. So like it's better. I know we say like we don't like I mean, I feel like the crown jewel, and we can do this on another episode. The crown jewel of football
Mhm.
fights is obviously uh, Mason Rudolph, Miles Garrett.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, we gotta do that one
But
week. Yeah.
yeah, we do. I mean, like that one is just. I mean, because when you talked about like, oh, you never see like a guy's helmet cut off. That's when the dude's helmet came off, and then he used the helmet to fashion it. So I
Right.
mean, probably not a good sign about this fight. That this was a fight that made me reminded me of a better fight.
Yeah.
But you know, it was like I want to give
I
it
don't
a
know. I
good
feel
rating.
like that actually is that is a good thing because like it's like, oh yeah, remember that time that this other thing also happened? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of gets you into that stratosphere. But I see what you're saying, Brian. I do.
Yeah,
I agree with you actually.
Malice
Yeah,
in the
6.5 is a good
but like
rating.
but like Malice in the Palace isn't like, hey, remember that time like
Right.
Charles Barkley and Bill Lambier like were like snappy at each other? No, like Malice in the Palace is like Malice in the Palace, like like
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
don't know, but like anyway, this I would say a 6.5 because they were they were scrappy, they were brawling, and it was entertaining to watch. So football
Yeah.
fights you always have to kind of grade on the curve a little bit because like there's
Yeah.
only
Mhm.
so much of violence in the game that they
Right.
get out. So and it's not like they can like scrap like hockey, like where they like dedicate it to like scrapping.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they just
um
stop playing and start
yeah,
fighting. Yeah, no,
Right.
yeah,
exactly. Um,
which maybe they should have, but yeah, 6.5.
so
Yeah.
I agree. I'm with you. I was thinking of that anyway. 6.5. Mike, what do you got?
Yeah. Man, I want to give it. The punch is unbelievable because he knocked his helmet off. I just looked up who it was. So it was this season.
Yeah, it was a
Uh,
couple
eh,
weeks ago.
yeah, on the 16th of this month, October. So, and it was Austin Eckler on the Chargers. He's the running back who got his helmet knocked off. So I guess he's a running back. He could take a beating as it is. So he just bounced up. He's like, all right, whatever. But the punch was like a 9. The fight, it wasn't much of a fight. I want to give it like an 8, but I feel like that's too high because it wasn't like a big brawl. So maybe a 7.
All right.
I,
All
I
right.
don't want to underrate it,
I
but at the
respect
same
that.
time, I can't overrate it because it wasn't long.
Well,
But
no, I
hell of
think
a
I think a
punch.
7's a fine average because
Yeah.
if the fight was like a 3 or a 4, and then like the punch was a 9, you meet partway through, right? You meet around like the 7.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like
That
that.
was hell of a
Alright.
9. That was a 9 between 9-10 of a punch.
All right. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
No, I'm gonna go back to scanning my action figures and watch scary movies. And by scary movies, I mean black and white movies from the 30s that aren't scary at all. But they're kind of creepy, but they're not really scary. So that's my level of
I
horror.
just watched Dawn of the Dead. That's I highly recommend people watch that.
The
Good horror
original?
movie. Dawn of the Dead, yeah, the
The
1978.
original.
Yeah.
I you can cut this. You can actually. Well, actually, I'll say it, and you can cut it out after. Do you guys know what Riff Tracks is?
Yes, I love Riff
I
Tracks.
went to see Riff Tracks did the original Dawn of the Dead years ago, and that
Oh, they
is
did?
seriously the hardest I've laughed in the movie theater probably my entire fucking life.
So they're the
Dude, it
Mystery
was so
Science
funny.
Theater. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
it
from
was
the
the
Mystery
MST
Science
guys,
Theater.
and dude, it was so funny. I
Which
legitimately
What's it called?
Yeah.
Riff Tracks?
Riff Tracks?
It's on
YouTube.
RIFFTRAX. It's on basically what
It's
you do
I
is
it's on
see.
YouTube.
it's
It's
some of the guys that
hilarious.
used to do Mystery Science Theater, and
Right.
they release
Yeah.
audio tracks that you can sync up to your like own movie, and they make fun of it, and they do it's so fucking cool. And once in a
It's
while they do
hilarious.
a live simulcast where you go to a movie theater and they're doing it live from somewhere else in the country.
Yeah.
Like they did it before Taylor Swift, okay? They did their own events before Taylor Swift, just to say. But yeah,
They're
it's really cool what they
they're the
what they do.
forefathers of Nosebleeders because obviously they did that, and then there was Cheap Seats, and then we wanted to make fun of fights, so they were kind of the precursor to this internet sensation of doing
Yeah.
reaction videos. Well, not really
Yeah.
reaction, but they would just make jokes over everything. So that's kind of what we do. Yeah.
I legit laughed my nuts off for 2
Oh.
hours straight in the theater watching their riff tracks of Dawn of
Yeah.
the Dead. It was so funny.
If they're in town, we have to go see it.
Well, it's
because-
not in town. They just do a theater event where you go to the theater and they
Oh,
simulcast
yeah.
it from another theater in the country, but you're at your theater watching it. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I highly recommend
They're really
that.
funny.
Yeah.
They're what they did. I saw Mystery Science Theater once, and there was a thing where they went up to some woman, they put like a chloroform over her face, and they go, "You want to try Chanel number 5?" You know, so it's stuff like that. So
It's
yeah.
sillier humor than mean humor, and I kind of like that a lot. Anyway,
Well,
I think
they
that
pick
that's a good
bad
place
movies.
to.
Yeah, they pick
Oh,
bad
they
movies
do.
to make fun.
They pick
Yeah, that's the joke.
bad
Yeah.
movies on purpose.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
Oh,
Gotta get
not
the
the
burp.
burp. He burps again. Thanks. All right. Have a good night. See you
There we
guys
go.
later.
All right.
Peace.
Yeah, take care.